Hey folks, and welcome to the video. My name's Ross, and I gotta be honest, I'm old. And when you get as old as me, you tend to find the things you love and you stick with them. Maybe we're creatures of habit, and maybe I'm behaving like an old man. Except instead of showing up at family parties and using racial slurs, I can't stop playing Final Fantasy X every single year.
This mandatory replay of Final Fantasy X or 7 or 9 or whatever is not something only I feel. But as years go by and new games come out and that backlog keeps getting more powerful.
There's this constant struggle between the fear of missing out on a game that just came out and the feeling of wasting my time on a game that I've already experienced. This kind of freezes decision making and causes you to just stare at your backlog while hours evaporate, and I can't be the only one. Right?
Well, join me as I break down this classic gamer dilemma and try to find a better understanding of our player preferences. Sometimes the desire I feel for replaying Final Fantasy X again is just as strong as the draw to play the new AAA hotness. Those games everyone is raving about, those 10 out of 10 IGN, GameSpot, Kotaku, Indie Darling, Banger, Smash Hit, Slam Dunk, absolutely cannot skip this game games. We play a lot of games over the years, and depending on how long you've been gaming, I'm sure you've come across plenty of games that you've loved and others that you really did not like.
Unless, of course, you're me, because I don't play bad games.
Sometimes these games leave a permanent impression on your mind or your heart or your personality, just as any other entertainment media could. When you look back on the experiences these games gave you, it's natural to want to seek and experience that grand again. Maybe you remember the first time a game's soundtrack really clicked with you. Maybe you remember a time where a terrible fate befell a character that you really cared about. Maybe you just remember how huge Tifa's crits were in Final Fantasy VII. Whatever it is, that stuff tickled the happy house in your brain so much that we naturally want to seek that euphoria again.
Hold on, did I just describe how substance dependence works?
I think an argument can be made to say that this is the reason we find ourselves nestling into our favorite genres. Sure, you can front flip into GameStop with your Naruto headband on and beg the folks at the counter to recommend a similar game to Legend of Dragoon on the PS1.
Oh, maybe you just really liked how Dort would yell out all of his attacks like, Volcano, and shit like that. I don't know.
Or perhaps the easiest way to re-explore those emotions and experiences is to just play that game again. With time comes distance, and your memory fades of the specifics that made a game really special to you, and playing that game in order to remind yourself of those details is totally worth your time. Like when I decide to replay Kingdom Hearts 1, I know that's a game that I love and it's very important to me, but I always forget how much comfort I feel just from the menu and UI sounds.
Sure, you can remember that huge boss fight with the crazy good music at the apex of the story in the game, but do you remember in Final Fantasy X when you're fighting Seymour and you can use the reaction commands to talk to him, and how he belittles Tidus and Yuna during the fight to buff their stats?
I knew you were bad news the first time we met.
Oh, my sincerest apologies.
Seymour!
It's stuff like that that deserves to be remembered once in a while.
There's no shame in sitting down with an old favorite that you know you'll enjoy. I don't know if I would just call this nostalgia, I feel that's a little different motivator than just wanting to re-experience what you loved about a game. Maybe I can make a video exploring that difference and, talking a little bit about my feelings on nostalgia. Leave me a comment and let me know if that sounds like a good idea. Sometimes when you're looking to do something new, there's some anxiety that you were wasting your time on something you may not like. When if you were to just go back to what you know you like, there's a sense of calming and comfort, almost therapeutic.
You can't always bet that whatever your friends recommend you, or whatever you heard reviewed so well, is going to be as genuinely enjoyable to you as your old favorites. So don't feel bad about picking up that old reliable game again and just giving it another swing.
Then again, nothing ventured, nothing gained, right?
I, and supposedly by some intuition we, have grown up in a world that looks and acts far different than the ones of our boomer parents or Depression-era grandparents. Fuck. We grew up playing games and experiencing media from all over the world and from other cultures using the internet. The nature of those games and media is that they're vast, varied, and endless.
Can one person play every game in existence? No. Watch every movie or TV show? No. Can you even play every notable game released in the last year? I used to have a buddy who would sit down every week and watch every single anime episode that came out in a season. And I don't see that as reasonable consumption.
Why would we hold this same regard playing video games? If watching a movie is like 2 or 3 hours at most, and watching a 12-episode anime is around 5 or 6 hours, both of these are far less of a time commitment than playing a video game, which in some extreme cases can take up to 130 hours, thanks Persona 5. Yes, I did it twice for both of the releases. So with that high of a time commitment, it's best to spend your time wisely. Sure, games that we've experienced before are enjoyable, but new experiences have the possibility to be even more enjoyable. The highs can certainly get higher with a new experience because you don't wholly know what to expect. Think about the huge plot twists that you can hit in the middle of a game, or learning the new mechanics to mastery and combining different gameplay systems for an incredible effect. There's not much fun to be found in a world that you've already explored, so it could be best to seek new ones. That new game could be exactly what you're looking for, the perfect scratch to the itch that you've had for so long. If you give it the effort, it could be a new favorite, perhaps one to set aside all of your other favorites. You never know unless you try.
This is the thought pattern that drives the backlog, feeds it, encourages it, engorges it, unending, imposing, menacing, controlling. I mean, you gotta shelve those games at one point, right?
Yeah, and the only way to do that is to beat them. You gotta be able to tell your friends, yeah, I beat that game, and this is how I feel about it. You don't want to say that you're a huge JRPG fan to a group of new people, and then have one of them ask you how you like Shin Megami Tensei 4 on the 3DS, and then you just sit there like an idiot because you've never even played it before, and oh my god, the game is amazing, how have you not played it? You call yourself a JRPG fan and you haven't even played Shin Megami Tensei 4?
Hope you made it this far in the video because I kind of want to make my point. That point being, play whatever the frick you want. FOMO is life, and nostalgia is hometown. Please tell me somebody giggled at that.
The new stuff will be there when you want to dive in. Hype is a powerful drug, and that alone can carry you through some games, and maybe those games will actually turn out to be pretty great and give you some of those spicy new memories you're trying to grab. We will always have those games from our past. They aren't going away either.
Unless they're digital only or online titles that get removed from storefronts and shut down servers. That being said, there's no shame in revisiting those old favorites so long as they're entertaining you.
Video games are there to entertain us, to give us a good time, and sometimes even make us feel a little bit of something. As long as that's true, it wasn't a waste of time. Try not to get stuck in decision making with the sheer amount of choices you have. There's no way to quantify your accurate levels of enjoyment of any given part of a gameplay session. So there's no way of determining if spending your time on one game gave you any more value than another. So go pick up that game that you won't stop thinking about. Maybe it's on sale. Sit down this evening and make that game your night's engagement. See how you feel about it. Pull up your chair and boot up that old favorite you haven't touched in a while. I hope it comforts you and maybe it shows you something that you forgot about. What matters is that you're having a good time playing a game, as we all should. And if you aren't having a good time, don't keep playing. There's nothing wrong with dropping a game that couldn't hold your interest for whatever reason. Just because something gets a huge banger rating from some website or is a totally huge recommendation from one of your buddies, it doesn't mean that it's for you.
The backlog does not control you. It's not gaining additional power. It's happily waiting for the next time that you grasp from its shelf, be it a new or an old experience. I think I legit am gonna go play Final Fantasy X again. See you later, folks.
Welcome to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. I know this took me about a year to actually put out another video. Like most of us, a lot of stuff was going on this past year, and I just didn't find the time or motivation to get up another video until now. So I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Hope you guys liked it too. If so, I'd appreciate a like, subscribe if you like more. It's really helpful to the channel, just starting out, you know. Had a few things going down with my dog Cooper, but it's sorted out now, but that's kind of the type of stuff that I've been dealing with this whole year. Again, hope you like it. Thanks for sticking around. See you in the next one, hopefully soon.
You probably shouldn't laugh anymore.